Our faith family is full of heroes of faith and American heroes. For the Jones family, serving in the military has been a proud family tradition.
I had a grandfather that served in the Spanish-American War. I had two uncles that served in the Pacific during World War II. I had a brother that served 4 years in the Air Force. And so, yeah, we just, when they called, we went.
The Draft Lottery, a live report on tonight's picking of the birth dates for the draft.
Between 1965 and 1973, more than 1 million men were drafted into military service as American operations ramped up in Vietnam. And a draft notice arrived in the mail, addressed to Bob Jones.
My sister-in-law's brother that I graduated my high school with, the week I went in, he got killed in Vietnam. He was the gunner on a helicopter, and they were sending his body back. So my mother was, needless to say, quite upset and asked me to avoid going to Vietnam if I could, but there's nothing you could do. You just went where they sent you. I did not have to go. I went to Korea instead. And they were doing the build-up for the Tet Offensive in Vietnam at the time, and so they were taking everybody that could walk and talk. And so the barracks that I served in, they decided I would be a squad leader. We had the group that they couldn't quite get to do everything they wanted to do. Went through 4 drill instructors before they ever found one to get us graduated. He told me I was the only one he had that couldn't march. I was on the end, and so they were supposed to march on my rhythm, and I didn't have a lot of rhythm, so he kept working on me to get my rhythm.
Marching may not have been his specialty, but the command sergeant major of the 4th Army had more interest in his strategic abilities and offered Jones an opportunity to move up in the ranks.
I made E5 while I was there, which is Specialist 5th Class. He pulled me out, changed my orders, and I got my top secret clearance, and I spent the rest of the time working for that command sergeant major and stayed in Seoul.
The Jones family tradition carried on to another generation. Bob's middle son, Jerry, also answered the call of duty.
Well, I was graduating from Eastern. I had $20,000 worth of debt and no job, so I did the indentured servitude, and they said they would pay off my loans if I gave them 3 years.
On Sundays, soldiers could attend a church service of their choice near the base in Georgia. And even though Jerry said he wasn't following God at the time, he realized God was chasing after him.
I wanted to do anything that got me away from drill sergeants, even if it was just for 2 hours. And I can remember being there in the praise and worship and some lady playing the piano, singing the hymns. It just felt like home. It felt like Lola singing hymns. I can remember that vividly. Didn't come back to church right away, but I knew I was coming back.
Jerry specialized in American intelligence and spent a year in Bosnia as part of the American mission to bring foreign war criminals to justice.
That was a security force. It was a peacekeeping mission in Bosnia, Herzegovina. There was one mission I was attached to the UN. We had to go to Serbia, and we were basically interrogating foreign police officers that were collecting intel against the United States and the United Nations.
Not long after returning back to American soil, Jerry was home with his new bride Heather on their base in Georgia when the 9/11 terrorist attacks struck fear across our nation.
When I got out, most of my friends were still in, and most of them ended up going to Iraq. And that bothered me for a long time.
The weight that our veterans carry is often deeper than what we can ever imagine. More than 40 million Americans have answered the call of duty, many of them sacrificing irreplaceable time with family and friends, along with their own hopes and dreams. And it's all to serve and protect this great nation.
Well, I was proud of making an E5 in 16 months that I was in.
I was a specialist in E4.
So you were higher ranked than Jerry?
Yes, still am.
Today and every day, our faith family salutes our military veterans, and we thank you for your service.